Well, welcome everybody to our micro moment compound stock earnings podcast, and we've got a full house today. We've got Randy, and we got myself, we got Tim. However, Tim, this is his very first time, and for some reason he's not throwing the switch. We're going to leave it here, and we got Micah. We just got a brand new cup of coffee. We had one heck of a good day today. It's been a good week so far.
No, I can't hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely good. Yeah, you're good. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not hearing you for some reason.
Yeah. Okay, that's what we can hear you.
Let's go over to here. Go over to my audio. And
I'm texting him to mute his mic.
Okay.
Got you now.
Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, folks, this is Randy's Tim's first time with us here, so we had to kind of get him going there. We didn't have his voice a while ago. Now we got his voice in his picture. But,
yep.
Okay. You can hear us too. Good. Yeah. I want to welcome everybody. Anything that you want to know about compound stock earnings and micro moment trading, go to our website, www.micromomenttrading.com, and you will see everything there, all the programs we have, all the seminars we have, what they cost, how you get into them, and you can sign up for the free Cow Report. It's been published 20 years now. It's free. And it has all the emails that come to all our operations here and all what people are doing, asking questions. You really learn a lot. And then you get the answers from Randy, myself, and everybody else here. So be sure and do that. Micromomenttrading.com and go and sign up for the Cow Report. It's free. And then when you sign up for the Cow Report, every Friday, hey, good morning, Robert. Every Friday, you'll get a long email. This is the Cow Report, and you can peruse it over the weekend. Okay, well, let's get started. We had a super day today on Micah Moment. We'll get started with Micah here. We were up 40. Where'd it go? 73.18% so far this week. As of the end of today, we're up 100 and where 100 and some odd percent, 106 or 107. We're trying to do 126 a week. And yeah, we're up about 118 or 19%, almost there. Last Friday, as of Friday, that was the end of the 38th week. Tomorrow's the end of the 39th week, and we were up 4,000. Here it is, 4,791.69%, which is 126.09 a week. And we're going to make that over 126 this week because we're already about 116. We got tomorrow to go. So Mike's going to talk about these trades and what he's doing, and we're going to have Randy chime in and talk. And I'll read this message from Martha. Nice to see you for the first time. How about that, Tim? Now, Tim, say be nice to Martha. Not like this one.
Martha's my buddy. Martha's my absolute buddy. She's killing it out there. We're taking questions. She's usually the first one on there with a positive trade.
Okay, she says, I can't thank Micah, Tim, and Joe enough for their daily insight. They have changed my life so much better. And then, of course, Tim, first time I keep forgetting that you're here too. So Tim's going to talk. And what I want Tim to read when it gets to him to talk is he's pretty new. He's been with us now, I guess, about 43 or 4 or 5 weeks or something like that, doing the micro moment. So, he's going to be a perfect one to kind of explain how he got started with it and how it's developed now. And he's just doing, in fact, he's on our micro moment trading morning sessions, Monday through Friday, and doing trades. And a lot of those trades today were his. And he's really, really good. And so he's going to talk about that. So let me start with Micah, and then I'll go to Randy, and then back to Tim. And if you want to give us any message so we can answer any questions for you, or anything you want to say, just type it in, and we'll see it pops up on our screen. Okay, Micah, take off. Micah, we can't hear you.
Oh, I thought I unmuted, but I actually muted my mic. Man, we don't claim to be the best at this stuff, right? The the technical the technology stuff, but no, it's been a great couple weeks. Tim's been honestly most of the gains are Tim's. He logged on as a client. Shoot,
At least 40 more.
I mean, when did you first come on as a client?
End of June.
June. Okay. Yeah. So logged on as a client and just started asking questions, posting his reports, and just constantly just soaking it all up. And to see that transition from that to now he's just on the webinar, talking, explaining things, and being able to give these insights back is unreal. It's awesome. So really cool stuff, to be able to see that and just really rewarding too. I'm sure we'll have, master's classes eventually that Martha's going to be on and, people like that. And it's just, that's what it's all about, seeing that. So, I've been in a little bit of a funk trading recently, me and Apple, both, strange options, market too, but I can't really blame it all on that. There was one trade on Apple today where I got into a put and the stock dropped 20 cents and I still sold it for a 2-cent loss. So, weird option movement, but also, a little mindset. So I'm thankful to Tim too for holding down the fort and keeping our average up as well. But I mean, that's a large reason that we have two people on, whether it's me and Tony, me and Tim, whatever, concoction it may be in the future. Many eyes make light work, and the fact that we can get multiple perspectives on these things. We have different sets of talents. We have different trading personalities, if we're more aggressive, more conservative, different things like that. And it really all works together through the ebbs and flows that is trading. I'm sure everybody on here watching that has any experience trading knows that there is, there is a tempo to things. It's not like you just log on to your brand new E-Trade account one day and you just start printing money. And it's not like, after you've been trading for 5 years that it's just, peachy keen. Oh, now I have experience, so I'm good at it. It's not that type of skill. It really is, a lot of mental and we're playing a marathon game. We're playing the long game. So, but yeah, altogether, it's been really well. We've been growing in clients. Everyone's seems to be gaining a lot of value from it. We haven't had any complaints, certainly. So, yeah, it's all going really well. We're getting a lot of volatility back in. Apple's been swinging crazy today. Lots of huge movements on Q, and so I'm excited to get some volatility back. Hopefully not at the expense of anything too bad happening in America, as it seems like it is. But the volatility is always good. It doesn't matter which way it goes. We're able to make the most of it. So, yeah.
The problem, number one, Micah does really fantastic. Well, he'll he comes to every time, all the time, makes huge returns. Those sessions start every day, Monday through Friday at 8:30 Central, and usually last about an hour. The other problem Micah has, so he keeps falling in love with the stocks. Like he's had a real battle going on with Apple right now. He's turned her down. He's expelled her. And he picked up another one. What did he pick up? What was that other one you picked up today? All of a sudden you had a relationship with it. Spy?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try out Spy for a while, going forward.
Well, it's good to have a variety of them. I mean, you don't you want to play the field, as they say, right?
Keep your options open.
Keep your options open. Tim, are those guitars against the wall over there?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Hey, we got another team here. Look. And Marcus is listed. Marcus has a band. And,
nice.
And Tim sings karaoke, and now you can play.
Absolutely. Yeah. My main instrument is piano, but I have a number of guitars lying around here that if I get too nervous about things, I pick up one and, keeps the emotional side of my brain occupied while I focus on something.
Well, I heard Michael is singing karaoke on a cruise ship. He was 4 or 5 years ago, a CSA cruise, and he joined in the karaoke contest. But he came in second, So I hadn't tried to promote him, but now that we got a guitar player and a piano player, and we got Marcus with a band, I mean, we have a regular gig. Hey, Marcus, we have the seminar sometime around the middle of February of March. You have to bring the band over, and we'll have to like have your band and these two guys, you know, and it'll be fun. But okay, Tim, I know I'm going to go to Randy. Randy, why don't you take off? And Randy, by the way, is going to be in about the last 15 minutes, because he trades the market in the morning just like you do. In about the 15 minutes where we normally do our phone conversations tomorrow on the site to answer questions, because some people have been asking some questions he really ought to be able to answer. And he's going to call in, and I can hook them both up on the phone, and because everybody else can hear. People can ask him live or type in questions, and he can respond to those questions. He'll be on there about the last 15 minutes of our session in the morning. So yeah, I don't, you know, Randy, I hope you're up to it. I mean, they're pretty fast people.
I hope so. I guess I better get to sleep early tonight, so I'll be, you know, have enough energy to handle that tomorrow.
Why don't you tell everybody what you do, Randy?
Well, one thing is, I'm in my baseball. This is my warm-up shirt. Got my hat going. Next week I'll be heading down to Florida playing a tournament again. So get away from this cold weather. Get down there where it's warm down there in South Florida. That'll be fun. But I do a little bit different than Micah and Tim do. They're in and out of things in like seconds. You blink your eyes and you're done. But I teach momentum trading, which is a slower version of what Tim and Micah do. It's entering positions based on our advanced chart, the proprietary advanced charting system, which rolls together like 21 different technical indicators all into one chart, and you learn how to easily read it, looking for the beginning of the cycle. And then we buy an option, ride it as it goes up, and then sell it for a profit. We call that momentum trading, and it's available because of the proprietary advanced charting package. I teach that on Monday mornings on a Live in the Market webinar, and we go through about 30, 40, maybe 50 different charts, looking for positions right there on the webinar, so I can teach how to look for them at the same time that we're actually looking for them. And typically enter one or two positions right there during the webinar, and the webinars are visual, where you hear and you see the charts and what's going on. And those are then recorded as well, so you can watch them over and over again, or if you're not available to be there live in the market, you can still learn from it by watching it later on. This week, did not find any charts that were setting up for a good rising cycle, and we trade with the trend of the market. And right now the trend of the market is rising, because last week we're at all-time highs, pulling back a little now because of the coronavirus, and then but we're not going to trade against the trend, so we're looking for new rising cycles. And it was good, didn't get into one on Monday, because then look what happened on Tuesday, look what's going on today. This market is really unsettled right now for the shorter, longer term. It's great for micro moment trading because you're just in and out. It doesn't matter what's going to happen tomorrow or the afternoon or what announcement's coming out in 20 minutes. In and out of it real quick, right at the moment. Does trade the moment. And so last week entered, and I actually entered Intel call and exited 4 hours later for a 2.5% return. I just still don't want to be in the market that long with them. In addition to that, I also teach the cover call platinum service, and in the cover call platinum service, we teach the compound stock earnings way of doing cover calls, which is totally different than how the typical market uses covered calls. Compound stock earnings is covered calls to generate weekly income and to get your capital back as well. And so I teach a advanced version of that, where a covered call is buy the stock, sell a call, and we sell in the money calls that are positive call return, meaning a profit and capital back So the stock can go up, down, sideways. It doesn't matter. We can still generate the income on a weekly basis and exit the position with the capital return. And I do an advanced version of that on Wednesdays and teach a 2-hour webinar that everybody attends. And again, that's going to be recorded and you can watch it later on as well. But with those, instead of using all the capital for buying the stock to sell or call against, we leverage the power of the options. And so I buy an option and sell an option against it. And you learn how to do that following the set of rules. It's all rule based. Everything that we do is based on a set of rules. And you learn the rules and just follow the rules. And it's all based on charts and the rules. And so on the covered call, I always have to write all these down, but during the webinar, I go through all the rules, look at the positions, entries, exits, and management. And management is one of the key parts to the covered call. Is we don't just hope that something's going to happen. If it goes up, it gets called out, get all your money back and keep the profit. If it goes sideways, get called out, get your money back and keep the profit. If it goes down some, get called out, get your money back and keep the profit. If it goes down too much, and there's no guarantee that anything's going to go in the direction that the charts have been saying that it is, but if it goes down too much, then we have management. So I can continually manage that position for additional income until getting called out and getting all the capital back as well. So last week, the positions that closed out that were found during the week, and when I'm managing my own portfolio, I use that as the quote examples for teaching the techniques so that you learn hands-on. You get to see exactly how I'm doing. You can follow along in your virtual trading account without risking any money and learn hands-on. But I send an alert out that says, this is what I'm looking at, this is what I'm getting ready to do. Then I put it in my own portfolio, send it out to the broker, gets filled, and then I send a follow-up email that says, here's exactly what happened. So you get a heads up that this is what I'm going to do, and then you see what the actual was. So you can go out and look at the market and see exactly what it is at that time. It's not just a what if, it's not this is what happened 4 years ago if you would have done these things. It's real time what's going on right now. So last week, NDX 16.2% in that trade for 5 days. EXAS 42.8%, that was 10 days. That I had to use management because it didn't go up, the first entry. So I managed it for a week and ended up getting all the capital back and 42.8% return for the 10 days of investment. Apple 4.1% just for 1 day, Intel 16.2% for 1 day, Amazon 3.3% for 2 days, Netflix 10.3% for 5 days, and IBM was 34.2% for a week. And those were all the ones that were entered last week. And I didn't have any carryovers from the new entries. I didn't have to manage into this week. And so far, the ones for this week are looking pretty strong, even though the market's been going down. But it looks like Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft are going to close out pretty easily, actually, because I entered deep in the money covered calls so that the equities can go down and still provide the opportunity to exit with the profit. So an example is like Apple. My covered call has the short position at 287.50. Apple's trading at 321 right now. So unless it goes down, what's that? 87.12. Unless it goes down $32 tomorrow, between today and tomorrow, it's going to get called out, and that'll be about a 5% return on Apple for this week. Those are the kinds of examples that they are, is how deep in the money, how much it can go down. Also entered Microsoft for this week at the 157.50 strike, and Microsoft is trading at 172. So again, unless it goes down like $14 tomorrow, it's going to get called out, and I'm going to keep the about 5% return on it for just this week. And I only entered it Microsoft yesterday, so that will only be for 2 days that was in. So those are the types of returns that can be generated with the covered call. And it's a great way to generate weekly income. And there's lots of different techniques for different outcomes. And Joe usually talks about you might have a stock that you've had for a long time where you never want to sell. We have a process called weekly fast cash where you sell out of the money calls. You learn how to read the chart, how to enter the appropriate strike, but you sell out of the money calls and just generate like a weekly dividend without ever selling that stock. So you can keep generating income on something that you're just going to hold on to anyway that you didn't know how to do, and you can come on and learn how to do that. So stay tuned for tomorrow, I guess, when I'm going to be on the Micah and Tim show.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And Randy, the main idea we had with that was your understanding of some of the underlying processes of options that we don't really talk about. We talk about the charts, call, put, their movement, but if you could, talk about tomorrow, if you could talk about kind of some of the forces that affect the option chain itself, not, what the stock is doing. We can see that, but as zoomed in as we are, we see a lot of things, kind of like the put today. We see a lot of things happen on the option chain that aren't as simple as, okay, stock moved up, option moved up, stock moved down, option moved down. So if we could, kind of delve into that a little bit, that would be amazing.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Great. What Randy does is in our book, Covered Calls and Leads Wealth Option. We treat stocks like real estate. We don't particularly care. We just want a stock that's not going to go out of business. We don't, we know they're going to go up and down, and they're going to go all over the place. But using his techniques, you're going to always make money. If you go down, you're going to make money, because we're not. If you have a rental house and if you're not renting it, you're not making any money. Well, stocks the same way. If you're going to sit there, you collect dividends, you're not going to make a whole lot of money, and so on and so forth. But it's really, really important technique. It's something there for everybody, where it has got rules. Now, the technique, the macro moment trading, Mike and Tim, has no rules. It has no rules. The key is to get in and get out quick, and you've got tremendous leverage because you're using pretty cheap options, usually around $1 somewhere, set 97 cents. One contract is going to be 100 shares. So if you got 100 shares, a stock of Apple, let's say Apple was, I don't know what it is, I'm just making this up, $1. You only have $100 in that position, and you're getting out and making 2 or 3 or 4 or 5% in just maybe 15 to 35 seconds or so. And you're through for the day after a few trades. And again, we've made over 4,000% in the last 39 days. So very, very good technique. Now, Tim came in as a student and went through some rough times, bad times. That's what I wanted to talk about. And now, he just blossomed into this incredible trader. Every morning, if you belong to their service, you go on, sign in, and there's a chart. And that chart, we spent millions of dollars on getting it up. And you trade based on that chart, just like Randy does. And I want to leave. Take water. So it's and you sit there and you hear everything they're doing, and you hear the trades they're going into. They prep them. Mike comes on as a reading sample, certain strike price, and he'll say, "I'm in." And he gives what he got in for, and then a few minutes later, he'll say, "I'm out of this price. I'm getting out of this." So you know exactly what they're doing. And it's best to use a virtual account when you get going, because you're not going to lose any money. You have a trade, and you can just learn that. It's sort of like a trade school. Randy's is more of a college education. They're sort of like a trade school in that you don't have all this stuff you need, the background, because they don't care if the market's up in the morning or down in the morning. They don't care if it's a good stock or bad stock, but they don't use give index, QQQ, Apple, SPY. Really, I mean, they're not going out of business, put it that way. But they don't care. They don't care, which way they're going. And whether the market, like today, it started off real slow. Ended up with, what did I say, 70-something%. And huge day. Now, Tim, why don't you kind of give them your story of how you. Oh, by the way, Ray, one more thing before I turn it over to you. Randy's been with us. Randy, what, 14 years? Something like that. 14, 15.
Since 2006, so that's close 14 years. Yep.
Yeah, 14 years, and he knows what he's doing. Now, these folks here, haven't been with us that long, but Mike has been with us 5 years, just not in this role. And he started off when he was 10. So Tim, why don't you take that and kind of give a little background there and how you got started in this and what frustrations you had and so on and so forth. So people that are contemplating doing it will know, what happens when you start off like that.
Absolutely. Hope you can hear me. There's no echo with me now. Hope it sounds okay. While y'all were talking, I made a couple of trades. Caught a nice little push up on Q. Anyway, so I've been doing this since end of June, and actually been following you guys through the Cal report for years, and looking at the returns that you guys are doing on various services, and it's just like, wow, is that possible? And finally, when you started the micro moment trading, I followed that for a couple of months in the Cal report, and jumped in and transferred a fund from over to Thinkorswim, over to TDA, and started doing trading. And within 3 days or so, I figured I knew everything there was to know about trading, and started not following the rules, and had some disasters. And then I figured out, okay, let's just follow the rules. And it took me, 2 to 3 months to really kind of get into a groove on this, recognizing the patterns, reading what the charts were telling us, and watching my options chain. And once I started doing that, I started doing pretty well, and that has stayed since then. One of the hardest lessons that I had to learn was how to manage my losses, how to get out of something quickly. And that was huge. I think with these charts that, for the most part, I don't have to worry about profits. If I entered correctly and things are going well, the profits are almost guaranteed as far as I'm concerned. With what we do, we see a consistent 3 or 4 cent gain on what we do, and we get out. Occasionally we get a home run, little gifts that the market gives us when we start getting a lot of momentum in a trade. But I really needed to work on just getting out. And I think I've kind of honed that down to a nice place where, my losses, and, we do have losses. It is trading. We can't predict 100% what the market's going to do, and it throws us curveballs all the time. But if you manage your losses, you get them down to, no more than 1 or 2 cents on a trade, you're going to make money with this. So
let me say something.
Yeah.
Give you an example. The macro movement is all about, you just want to avoid a loss, and even a lot of times these guys get out of something because they have a penny loss, and maybe 5 seconds later it would have been a profit that they stayed in. It's better to take that loss and get out, because it can all of a sudden end up a 20% loss. Remember, if you do your average, what you pay for these things is about a buck. Sometimes they're less than that, sometimes more than that. So when we talking pennies. They'll say, I just made 2 cents. Well, on that's 2% return on a dollar. That's fantastic, because you're going to do it multiple times a day. Right. And that's why today they made 43.87%, 29% yesterday, and the 3 week Well, into today, so it's 4 days. They're up 112.21%, and so we'll easily hit over 126% with tomorrow on there. So I just want to say that so kind of give an idea of what you're talking about when you talk about money. When you say 2%, that's the average cost of $1. That's 2 cents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's great. And we talk in terms of pennies. Yep. You know, everyone knows what that means, how to do the multiplying on it. But, you know, when we're doing our call, you'll see folks going, you know, +3 on Apple, +5 on Apple. You know, and everyone knows what that means. So really what became real important to me was managing those losses, not getting married to a trade. Early on, you know, I wanted everything to be a win. So I would hold on to it and hold on to it and hold on to it. And it always loses, right? When I hold on, I always lose. And this is something that I appreciate about this service and the technique that we do is we're in and we're out, right? We're right back to cash. We just stick our toe in the water, as it were, and get out immediately. And I love being in cash at the end of every day. That's just huge. So for me, let me give you a little background. I've worked in television for years. I worked at CNN and NBC for a number of years as a editor and an animator. And I think one of the skills that I developed from doing that for years is pattern recognition. Being able to look at the squiggly lines on the charts and immediately recognize patterns that were happening or were setting up, so that I can make a decision very, very quickly on how to get into a trade. I think what we do here is so simple. It really has no rules. You know, we look for pattern setups that are favorable for a momentum. And when I get confirmation on the option chain, I get in. When I get any hesitation in the option chain or the tick is just kind of not moving, I get out.
You might mean what you make those decisions is based on our chart. And when people subscribe to your service, they see that chart, and you because both of you are talking about it constantly. You say, okay, now the lines get ready to cross this way, just get ready, and they say, oh, with the other way, and so you're watching that, and you can't help but learn it. That's why I say it's sort of like trade school. You know, you learn to become a good welder, actually welding. You know, and there's not a lot of academic stuff to it. So that's good. But they're seeing that chart the same way you're seeing it. Yep,
absolutely. And when you're with this service, you're following exactly what we're doing. You know, and we're doing these trades in real time. We talk about, okay, here's what we're seeing. This is a good setup coming out. We give as much prep time as we can on it. So, you know, typically we say, okay, let's go ahead and prep the 220.5 strike put. And a few seconds later, okay, I entered there. It's now I entered at 113. It's now up to 115. I put my sell to close at 117, and boom, it happens. You know, and most of my trades are pretty short. 30 seconds is a long time for me to stay in a trade. I'm looking for those quick bursts of movement, up or down. And jump in on these. And if that movement continues, I'll get back in. I'll do another trade on that stock. In fact, you know, today it was looking like it was just going to be so slow. In fact, we both started with a 2-cent loss on our trades. And it was nearly 30 to 40 minutes into the session that we started getting some movement, and Q started moving, and I was able to make, you know, 2 to 3 trades on a single movement, which was great. You know, I get in, I pick up 3 or 4 cents, I get out, so I secure my profits. If it's still moving, I'll get back in, get another 2-3 cents, and jump out. And there was right near the end of our session, we had a number of those. So what looked like was going to be a very slow day turned out to be a great day.
Yeah, there were 12 trades today, 12 trades. And, there were just 2 losing trades, one for 1.7, one for 2.8, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And Q has been serving up some decent volatility. Been happening later in the sessions. If we didn't get in on the gap in the beginning, it will serve up some trades later in the day. But here's the thing about micro moment trading is that there's always another trade to make. There's always a trade around the corner. If you get into a trade and it doesn't do anything, you get out and you know that next trade is just around the corner. And it happens every day, day after day after day. It's endless.
Let me say one thing, and that's the key to it. That's why I said earlier, y'all don't care if something's going up or down. What we get excited about is when pre-market, like this morning, if market was really going to go down, fantastic, because that's going to give volume to trade. And now, let's say it turned out it was really going up. That's fantastic. It's going to give volume to trade. So we look at the volume, not trying to make profit on the, making the stock cheap and selling it for more, something like that.
Yeah. And I think this is there's a different mindset to what we do. We take quick bites. We get in and we get out. And once you learn to read the chart and to anticipate reversals and setups, it's so simple. And that's one thing that I really appreciate about this is that it's very simple. I think if it was any more complicated, I wouldn't get it. And Micah does a great job of filling in the holes, explaining what's going on. Here's why this is happening. Here's why this is, that's happening. Or we'll review a trade and go, okay, here's what happened. And it's great. So each day we all get to add to our knowledge base as we go along and become better traders. So you all invited me to, I think someone's got a mic open. You all invited me when Tony needed to was called to serve our country, and I hope he's safe. We miss him. You guys invited me in to be a guest trader on this, and it's been great. I love it. I just love it. Here's the thing: is I love trading. It is just so much fun for me to trade, and to be able to share what knowledge I've picked up with other folks has been a true blessing. Because I think, when we're blessed with knowledge and prosperity, we need to share that with other people and teach other people how to do it. And, we've got some superstars on our morning call with Melissa and Martha and Deshaun. They're just killing it. And that's really cool to see. People come on and start to get this, and then they have they're getting consistent results with this technique. So that's it. You hear this a lot on our call that this has been life-changing, and it has been for me. It has absolutely been life-changing for me. To be able to, turn on profit, as it were, almost at will is just incredible. So,
okay,
very grateful.
Fantastic. We really appreciate having you and your skills around here. One other thing is kind of neat. We have a established corporate account, and these guys are trading it, but they're trading on a particular trading platform they're not familiar with, so they're getting experience on it right now. That corporate account is just our money, so it's going to be audited. We didn't want to audit their statements because they are obviously personal statements, and it's going to be audited, and we'll have those audited returns published. And so you see these things really, really do happen, and we won't be auditing. Professional accounting firm will be auditing the thing. So if you have any questions, you might pop up here. Otherwise, we'll kind of slow it down here. There's Frank. Go ahead, Micah. That's to you.
Yeah, Mike or Tim, what criteria do you use for deciding when a position isn't working out and you bail out? P.S. Starting using bracket trades is very helpful. bracket trades in there. Very helpful. Yeah. Our exits are not based on the chart, which is a lot different than, a lot of people's positions. Most strategies, they have, criteria for entrance and then a criteria for exit. We have a criteria for entrance, and our exit is it's just when it's done. So if we hop into something, for instance, and it's just not taking off or not moving right now, you have to remember, guys, a lot of our trades fill to fill are about 30 seconds. We've had trades as short as 5 seconds. 5 seconds, like open fill to exit fill for a profit or loss. Them for our clients, I think the longest one I saw in the past month was probably 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I think. So you have to keep that in mind when you're considering when you're going to bail out of these things. If it's not moving, honestly, in the first 10, 15 seconds, you might have read it wrong, or it's just not ready. The thing about, having short trades is you can just get back into it. You can just re-enter. So why put yourself at that risk of, if you want to enter on something with strength and with momentum, why put yourself at risk on trying to get into something that's just frozen or not moving, and holding that? Because the second that it's paused and it's not moving in a direction or the direction that you think it is, at that point you begin to hope. As soon as you feel that mental thing of, I hope it breaks through, get out right there. So that's why we have so many trades. We have a lot of trades that are flat even, or a 1 cent loss. It's not hardly a loss. It's not because we're saying, oh, we've met our stop loss or the chart changed. It's simply because it's not doing what we think it should right now. And then to exit for profit, once we have 3 or 4 cents, we just get out. Most of the time we have our big wins. It's because it's moving faster than we can even get out for a profit. We have a hard stop set. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. At what point? Several people ask me about your trading. At what point do you get flustered and fall out of love with one, and the relationship is terminated?
When it keeps stabbing me in the back.
Okay.
What he's referring to is I've been in a diva shouting match with Apple. We've been at odds. We've been very angry with each other, and it honestly is like a sour relationship. It's like it just like slaps me and I slap it back, and we're just going back and forth like in the cartoons. It's ridiculous. Anyways, but our home runs are we have a hard stop set underneath as a safety net, 5 cents, 6 cents, something like that. But we don't have it on the top. So when something explodes and it's just moving up as fast as possible, sometimes we're just kind of chasing it up. We're adjusting our order up and up and up. And that's how we make, there's every once in a while where we get 15, 20, 30. I think we've had a 45% win was our biggest gain. And that's literally due to just it accelerating so fast that we just kind of follow it up. But our exit's not based on a chart criteria. It's based on environment. So
this will show you a good example of what he's talking about. Yesterday on Apple, he got out with a 0.0070%. That's a 1%.
Yeah.
He got that quick. I mean, he really made the decision. He just felt evidently the romance wasn't working. So he just cut it off. And on the QQs, Tim got out like 1.7% today loss. That's a penny, something like that, So
yeah, and I'll just follow up with Micah. I mean, for me, the charts tell me when to get in. Once I'm in, I am focused on the option chain. And I'm looking at the tick in the option chain, looking for any hint of slowdown or decay. Because we're also fighting time decay, especially later in the week. But I enter and it stalls, I'm out. I'm just not going to wait around for it to go. And so I'll get some even trades, even some very small losses on that, but I haven't burned any money. So if it does pick up momentum, it catches up with the orders that are coming in, I can jump back in. But what I've done is I've protected my cash and lets me trade again. And I think that's a huge point. Is I'm not going to burn cash on something that stalls. And they stall. It happens all the time. Also, sometimes they accelerate, which is great. But I get in and I start seeing a hesitation in the tick or the option chain, and I'm out of there. I get out as quickly as possible.
And you really do, Tim. How many different positions did you have on that put today? There was one strong move down on Q, I think, and you entered and exited. Was it 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, I think I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking. Go ahead, Joe.
More like 5 or 6. I'm looking at the sheet here.
5 or 6 on that one push.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he really does he does execute on that as well.
He made like 7.87%, 5.38, 2.04, 3.96, 2.91. Then he snuck a 10.42% in there. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, it was all on that one down leg of that push down. I just kept taking bites out of it. But I know also the longer it goes, the bigger chance it's going to reverse. So we start getting very, very cautious. That was unusual to get that many bites out of that leg, but it happens.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions or comments they want to make? You want to type them in there so we address that? We terminate this here pretty quick. And remember, tomorrow during our phone session on the micro moment session in the morning, Randy's going to join us. And if you want to speak to Randy, Randy's going to answer any questions that you want to know about, some of the things that Micah discussed that were on his mind and had been expressed by some of our other clients on those seminars. So if nobody wants to be recognized, make a comment or have us answer a question, we will call it a day.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for the clients being here. And we'll see everybody later on next Thursday. Bye-bye.
Awesome.
So long. Have a great day.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.